Okay, so I was made aware recently of a new up-and-coming Mascot horror game that is currently in the works, kind of, but a new Mascot horror game that was being planned on by the Real-Time Studio, or In Real-Time Studio, if you remember them from the FNAF in Real-Time stuff. Basically, what's going on is that they're pretty much working on a completely new Mascot horror game that, in my opinion, is kind of based off of Indigo Park in a sense. And you'll see why here in a minute when I go over the whole trailer for this game and the Kickstarter page opened up for it. Which, by the way, they don't have a demo out for this game yet. Instead, they just went straight to the Kickstarter for it and are currently asking for about $35K in fundraising money to get the project on the way. Which, compared to Indigo Park, they released the demo, like chapter 1 first, and then asked for money. Which, alternatively, I think is a better solution than just going straight to the Kickstarter. At least that's in my opinion, and I'll cover it more here, like in a bit. But yeah, we're gonna look at it real quick. I'm gonna take you over to past me when I first reacted to it. So enjoy that. Okay, so this is gonna be like a live reaction thing to like the the Piñata's world stuff. I forget the rest of the name, but I'm gonna just see how it is and everything because this is like my first time actually reacting to it. So we're gonna look through it and see what it's about. All right, off the bat, the music is incredibly loud. All right. So this is all game engine footage. Okay. Oh, okay. I see somebody there. Cool. All footage is taken in-game engine. Okay, so we're kind of like 30 seconds in. Good chunk of that was the was like pre-rendered stuff. Maybe this is gameplay or pre-rendered. I have no clue. Maybe it is. It's all in-game footage, like the game engine footage. So if it looks like, I don't, why is it this style? This is incredibly difficult to look at, if I'm going to be real. I don't get like the whole VHS thing making it look very like bright and hard to look at, which is fine. I mean, VHS style isn't bad, but it's like, you know, you're running through a very colorful place. This is like a children's plaything. Wait, actually, are we like the size of, what size are we in this? This whole thing, like we're able to just run through all of this as if we're like a child or something. Are we a child? Are we an adult here? Very confused. But yeah, speaking of the VHS style, like, you know, it works, but not with like this bright color scheme here, right? That's just my opinion, because this is incredibly saturated. It's very saturated. And again, with the music, it's very loud too. This is all incredibly loud. Very loud. Oh, who is that? Hello. Are you the Pinata person? You look like somebody. It's hard to tell because you're so saturated. Okay, well, that player's... Okay. Whoever was running from that, you fool. You ran into the wall and you got caught. So, right. Okay. Okay, so we have more stock footage. Oh, there's Pinata. You know, I really like this design. I think this design is really cute of like the characters so far. I haven't seen all the characters, but I've seen some of them. And this one by far, I believe, is my favorite, if I'm going to be real. I like this design out of, I think, the rest of them. This design is really nice. I like this. I like it. Okay, so it does animate. So this does give off like Indigo Park kind of stuff. Okay, we got more stock footage. That is a very saturated thing. Okay. It's always like, okay, So it's one of these VHS things. Big VHS. Oh, it's not VHS anymore. Why is it so saturated? And like, again, I don't mind the whole VHS style thing. I just don't like when they make really bright colors incredibly like hard to look at sometimes, because if this actually is like in-game stuff, you need to be mindful of people who aren't really like great with bright lights, with like really bright things. I myself am not somebody who likes to look at really bright things. And I get it's like a whole kid's place and it's supposed to be incredibly colorful. But man, I really hope this isn't like the actual gameplay, like resolution and everything. At least of how it looks. Okay, you're showing off like some of the environment. Interesting. It just makes me think too, as I'm looking more into this, like how much of it is actually gameplay and not pre-rendered footage. That's what I need to know, is like how much of this is actual gameplay of the game and not rendered. Like that's something that was already rendered for just trailer usage and stuff. Besides like the whole like stock footage stuff too. Okay, this is cute. I like this. This is really cute. Whoever did this, like whoever did this art style here, you did a really good job. I like this. Okay. We're all grown up now, so we were a kid. Okay, this is definitely all right. This is definitely Indigo Park. Really gives off Indigo Park vibes of this one, especially since the character can see us and interact with us. I hate to say it, and I'm sorry if I'm like comparing, but it really gives off Indigo Park vibes. And, you know, again, I have nothing wrong. If you want to do like an Indigo Park thing, then go ahead, do it. Give it a shot. Also, oh my god, the saturation is so intense. Like, nothing wrong with that. Again, I like the character. I like this. I like the design. But, you know, I don't know. I'm running out of things to kind of figure. I don't even know what to say with most of this. No littering. Because, like, this is all, like, pre-rendered. Okay, and this is not saturated. Like, I'm very confused. It's all... This whole thing is confusing me. Oh, hello. Okay. Interesting. Interesting here. Okay. Even though it is pre-rendered, but cool model. That's cool. Cool. Is that, I really hope none of this is copyrightable, by the way. If it is, I'm going to mute it and it's going to be very awkward. But yeah, this is Pinata's Puppy World. That was the other line to this. Yeah, okay, so from what you could tell, the entire trailer, the gameplay trailer there, a good chunk of that stuff was game rendered or pre-rendered stuff, like footage stuff from the game engine itself. There was also the stock footage too, but you really hardly got to see a lot of gameplay. Maybe some of it was gameplay, but it was also incredibly hard to tell because of how saturated some of the images were. It's kind of like a wild idea to immediately be going for the Kickstarter of a game that's not even released yet. Because compared to Indigo Park, which I'm just going to use as reference because this game is kind of obviously based off of and inspired by Indigo Park itself. But seeing that the team themselves decided to go straight for the Kickstarter thing first and not have an actual demo released, because the thing with Indigo Park and how it worked is because Indigo Park had an actual game, had an actual like demo to showcase what game they were doing and what they were going to be working on and everything, like giving an introduction to the story, the characters, the settings, everything. Like, it matters to have a game present, a demo, to give people an idea of what it's going to be and, you know, what's going to probably happen and stuff, right? To go ahead and immediately ask for a Kickstarter campaign with no demo, no examples of gameplay, story, anything whatsoever besides just what's on the Kickstarter page, you know, you don't really have anything, and people are just going to be expecting what's shown on a Kickstarter page. And mind you, Kickstarters are funded with real people's money. And you'll see here that there have already been a good chunk of people already investing a good chunk of money into this game and into making this game happen. I'm just going to go ahead and just like show you what was on the Kickstarter so you kind of just have an idea of what I'm really going over here. All right, so this is the get out of here. This is the whole Pinata Puppy World's Kickstarter page here. As you can see, they've already raised about literally over what, about half of the donation goal, which is, you know, good for them. Almost about half of the donation goal. They have almost over 300 backers, and that's only about like 6 days into their Kickstarter. You know, kind of impressive, nearly hitting the halfway mark. But I wanted to sort of go over this whole thing and, you know, kind of just talk about any important details that I kind of notice, or just talk about anything in general about this whole thing, because there have been some things about it that I would have to say maybe kind of concern me, and I haven't really gone through the whole Kickstarter page myself, so, you know, I just want to see what it provides and, you know, get an understanding of, you know, what this game is going to be about. Pinata's Puppy World is an early 2000s set story game telling the relationship between mental health and exploring childhood nostalgia. Okay, so right off the bat, it's going to be about mental health and childhood nostalgia. And, you know, mental health and all that stuff, especially relating to child stuff, that is a pretty big topic. And, you know, I would really hope that there are people who understand, you know, have a good understanding of mental health, depending on the subjects or topics that are going to be used in this game, if it reaches the funding goal and if it gets produced and everything. Yeah, guess we'll see how that works. But all right. Pinata, yeah, emotional, surreal storyline, grainy VHS camera disguised within the genre of mascot horror. Okay, so it's definitely a mascot horror game. Got that idea. Picture, feel like, okay, so it does really go off of nostalgia. VHS, so it's going to be VHS based. Our goal is to explore the mental health struggles and complex emotions tied to nostalgic depression. Is that a thing? Nostalgic depression? I did not know that before. Okay. Liminality. Oh, okay. So you're going to be going over all this stuff with liminality. So it's like going to be a backrooms type thing. Really? You're going to do a backrooms type thing? A backrooms liminal space mascot horror game? Okay. Interesting. I'm sorry if I say backrooms, by the way. That's literally the main thing that's been tied to liminal spaces. And I was a liminal space person for a bit, so... Right. Okay. I want to be real here. It's very hard to tell what these images contain. I mean, I can kind of make it out, but why do they need to be so saturated? It's all taken in the game engine? Yeah, okay. It's all in the game engine. Because that's another thing, and I mentioned that in the trailer, because I'm still trying to wonder, like, how much of that stuff that was provided was actually in-game footage? Because I'd imagine that there would be something made already for this game, especially since you already have, like, you know, the renders for it. Is there, like, actual gameplay? I would imagine there is. But how much of it is actual gameplay compared to being pre-rendered on the engine itself, if you understand what I mean? Hyper-realism graphics, open-world exploration, camcorders, stretch all platforms and performance levels. Okay, this is the stretch goals. Stretch goals. Localization for... Okay, that's for that certain thing. I mean, who knows? You might be able to reach some stuff, depending... I don't know. I'm trying to, like, I'm trying to really look at this and trying to figure out. In-game projects need your help. We need to experience, empower... We really need to reach to empower and the development team and release the game we want. However, the more we raise the highest priorities, The release is letting us work full-time on while supporting ourselves. And the more we can expand our stretch goals, the more we can add to the world and project. Wait, wait, what? Hold on. Hold on. Is there any mention of people getting paid? Okay, I know I recently just read the whole pay to empower thing and whatnot from the Kickstarter, but there was also another thing on the Kickstarter as well, which I feel like is also like a contradiction to the payment stuff, which describes the development team as a collaborative volunteer team. So it really just confuses me because what kind of payment are you giving these people? Because originally you described them as both, well, you describe them as a collaborative volunteer team, and then you say once you reach the Kickstarter goal, it's going to help pay and empower the people on your dev team. And I'm just kind of wondering, like, what exactly, what is that going to look like? Because obviously you're going to be raising, if you even make the goal, you're going to be raising like 35K or even maybe a little above 35K for this game to be in development and stuff. So what kind of payment are these devs going to see out of all of that stuff? You know, that's kind of like the question I'm wondering here for this kind of stuff. So yeah, just thought I kind of chime in and, you know, kind of bring that topic up. You set up a Kickstarter, and surprisingly enough, you set up a Kickstarter for a game that doesn't even have a whole demo to it. You don't have a whole demo like to the game yet. Like compared to Indigo Park, if you wanted to get fundraising for this, I feel like the best thing to do to get the most funds from it would have to be like releasing a demo like how Indigo Park did and then ask for a Kickstarter, which, you know, whatever. I mean, I'm glad at least Indigo Park did that stuff. But just to chime in here about this, I think the main reason that they're getting the funding is mainly from the people who were fans and enjoyers of the FNAF in real time game itself. And I know they also mentioned the FNAF movie game in the Kickstarter too, but I've yet to see the FNAF movie game come out yet. I don't know if it is out, but if it is, then you know I haven't noticed that until, well, now if it's even out. But yeah, I kind of came to that conclusion that most of this money is probably just coming from all those people who were fans of FNAF in real time coming to support this project, which again, nothing wrong with that. I just thought it'd be good to at least come in and say, you know, probably where most of this money is coming from and all that stuff. Why do this instead of working on the game already, then doing a Kickstarter like what Indigo Park did? You know, I'd at the very least would want people to at least experience the game themselves and enjoy it the way they do, like they did with Indigo Park, because that thing did wonders, right? They got all the funding they needed for the whole game. And then, you know, but then for this, like you don't even have a whole demo. So like how are people gonna know that this game is gonna be as good as you probably say it is and give you all this money for it? Like, you know, there's nothing wrong with backing a project if you think it's going to work. If you're one of the funders and you think it's going to work, that's okay. But, you know, I at the very least would want to see the demo first. Like, I would not want to be investing my money into a project that I don't even know exists, that I don't even know is already being worked on or already has like an idea to it. Like, that's why Indigo Park's thing worked the way it did, because they had a demo already released for it. And then this just has like a gameplay trailer with, I don't even think most of the gameplay in it, just rendered stuff and stock footage. And it's already gotten like, oh man, like, goodness, dude. I don't really know what else to say about this in like reaction to it, but this is crazy, dude. Honestly crazy. I mean, good luck to you guys if you do manage to get the funding for this. But I'm a little I'm a little concerned slash sketchy of this whole thing. And not like a overly bad way, but I'm just like, you know, I would rather they just release a demo first than just then ask for a Kickstarter, not just release a Kickstarter first, then release something about the game. because that's like a whole another thing, because all this money, and because imagine all this money goes into something, it goes into this, and the game comes out after getting funded, but it doesn't meet the expectations people wanted it to. That's going to be a big risk, because again, that this is real people, this is real money, this is money that is coming out of actual people's wallets and being thrown into this game. One more thing to add here, I do want to emphasize that these are this is like run by the same people who did like the FNAF in real time stuff, which, if you can recall, that had a whole boatload of problems, a lot of like just issues in general, and just so many things occurred as that game was in production. Then after it released, there's like a whole bunch of other stuff. Like there was a lot of issues when it came to that game, right? And, you know, seeing that that team has now moved on to, like, not even long after releasing that game, now moving on to creating a whole new, like, you know, game, mascot horror game, now having its own fundraiser to even make the game, because for one, I don't even know if this game's going to be free. I hope it's free. Maybe it is, maybe it won't be, I don't know. I'd imagine that maybe it might cost something. It depends, because another thing is that this game is going to be coming out in like 2026, and the stretch goals are pretty massive, like as if they are really expecting this game to be funded to the high ends and stuff. It's honestly kind of wild, especially after all the problems that faced FNAF in real time and the issues surrounding that stuff. And I don't know, man, it kind of gives me a little, like, that's why I keep saying it makes me skeptical and stuff, because I don't know how this is going to go. Like, if this does come to light, if this does become like an actual thing that's going to be made, what's the process going to be like? I would hope that they probably learned from FNAF in real time, and I'm hoping they do. But, you know, seeing that what happened with FNAF in real time, and seeing that this game is basically like their second to third game that they're working on, that they're making, and they're asking for this amount of money from people to help fund it without nothing to provide physically for people to experience and, you know, understand what it's about, especially surrounding the sensitive topics it's going to be discussing in it too. It leaves me a little skeptical. It leaves me, you know, wondering what's going to happen, really. So we'll see. We'll just see what happens. But overall, I really don't have much else to say about this whole thing. I don't know how well this is going to turn out to be. I'm not too sure exactly what is going to happen with this, and I probably will guarantee that this will likely meet the threshold, at the very least, by the end of the 30 days it's been active, because already it's been like 6 days and they've nearly met like 50% of the funding goal, which is insane. So yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see what happens with this whole thing. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day or night, or week, I don't know. Yeah, this has been my video on the whole Pinata Puppy World thing. Yeah, I'm still struggling with the name, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you next time. All right, bye-bye.